What's up, guys? We are talking everything outdoor lighting today. I am happy. I'm grateful. I get to be joined by the great, the legend in the holiday lighting industry, Mike Marlowe. What's up, Mike?
What's up, Ryan? How you doing? And I appreciate the intro, so thank you.
I pro- I'm not trying to butter you up for anything, but if you could send me like an RGB tree, no, I'm just kidding.
I think
Um,
I might have sold out of all those, but I can send you something. Not a problem. We'll get you a color. We'll get you a color.
No, but seriously, like, so this was so cool because we've been starting to really promote the event, who the speakers are, who our vendors are, who our sponsors are. And I it was so cool. We posted one, and there must have been like 5 or 6 people on there that were like, "Oh, Mike Marlowe, like
Yeah.
that guy taught me everything I know, and I remember knowing nothing, and he sat on the phone with me for hours, and he taught me this, and I wouldn't be where I'm at with if it wasn't for Mike." And dude, that made my day. I was
Yeah.
like,
No, it was.
that's why we're doing this stuff. Like
Yeah, it was. It
we want
was. It was cool.
that was
I,
awesome,
I,
right? You saw that.
when you did that, and then I posted it, and people were starting to do things like that, and that just tells me the why I do it. You know,
Exactly.
because it means a lot to me because I want to see everybody successful, and I think that's the biggest part about. Yeah, I've made a, a whole bunch of mistakes, and to get to a fine line of where you go with business and how you grow business, and sometimes I might take a little bit more authority, like saying, hey, this is the way you have to go. Don't veer here, don't veer here, go straight. And people listen, people have success, and if I can only say that it's them doing the work, I just guide them in a certain way through a conversation.
I know. Well, that's actually kind of what I've fallen in love with is like you just have to tell someone what to do. You don't actually have to go do it as a coach, and then they have to like show up at practice. They have to go put in the work.
Mhm.
And it is kind of fun in that regard because you've already done the grind. You've
Yeah.
already gone in and done the workouts and done the practice and screwed up and all that. So it is rewarding for so many different levels. But I just thought it was so cool. And it I guess reaffirmed for me that we got the right people part of Light It Up Expo,
Yeah.
and it was just awesome. I was like, "Yeah, this is why we're doing this, guys." And if you haven't had that experience, you don't know who Mike Marlowe is, or you haven't had that transformation, like come and explore. Like that's what this is about. Mike, you're stepping up with Wintergreen. You guys are a vendor, you guys are a sponsor, you're speaking, like it's the trifecta. And I'm super grateful because my vision of this, like just call it outdoor lighting industry, is free. I can't even like put it in, I can't write it down. I can't, like, I wish someone could see it other than me. And I feel like you guys are seeing it, which is why you signed up as a vendor, as a sponsor, as a speaker, because like we need all of us. Like I can't get my vision executed on my own. I need your support. So thanks for being part of it.
No, you're welcome. And obviously, I do understand some of your vision, having to been ran, I know where you're going with this, and I see a long-term track record coming ahead for you of you looking back. I mean, we just talked about this. I met you 5 years ago when you spoke at my convention, right?
That was in dude, that was, by the way, that was Tampa, Florida.
Tampa.
I
Yep.
No one knew who I was. I didn't even know who I was. And you said, "Hey, why don't you come down and speak?"
Yeah.
I think I even paid to be there. Like people pay me
I
now to
think you
speak.
might have, but it's kind of like
I
me paying to be there for you. So no, I don't
Yes,
know.
it's the same thing. No, it was like I bought a table because I
Yeah.
wanted to like
Yep. That's
get
right.
my
That's
name
right.
out there. And you go, "Hey, yeah, dude, well, if you're gonna do that, why don't you speak?" And I was like,
Yeah.
dude, this is crazy. I was so scared. I was so nervous.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my gosh, like, what if I screw this up? And I remember having like an agenda in my mind because I'm like, dude, I'm flying down there. I didn't have like any income for my business yet and all this stuff.
Mhm.
And I get up on stage and I did my thing. And at the end, I said, hey, come by the table. And I told people, hey, you should join my program. I came home and Lindsay, my wife, was like, how'd it go? I'm like, it was awesome. I was up on stage and it was the coolest thing ever. And I was so scared and all this. And there was all this energy. And I think people liked it. And she's like, oh, cool. How many people joined your program? And I'm like, yeah, that's the thing. Zero.
Yeah.
And literally zero people joined the program. And I wasn't depressed, but I was kind of like disappointed. I was like,
Yeah.
oh man,
Yeah.
like, I'm out like my flight and my hotel and like all this
Mhm.
stuff. But I'm telling you, Mike, I'm so grateful for that opportunity because I can't tell you how many times that when I get on calls with people, I'm like, so how do we know each other? And they're like, oh, I love your podcast, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, so how'd you find the podcast? They're like, actually, I met you in Tampa,
Yeah.
2021. I go, really? Like
Yeah.
you met, dude, a ton of
That,
people.
that is
That was like,
crazy. So then
yeah,
that's where, and I think that's where we all want to jump to a quick ROI of our efforts, right? In coaching, business, whatever, or doing a home show, right? You got some, you don't, you're always like, how many leads did I get? How many leads?
I
But
know.
sometimes you have to make sure that you're branding yourself and branding your company properly. So then you get that back year after year, you know, and I get that myself when people contact me and they want to. I sometimes I have to feel like I got to give them my resume, so then it's okay for them to understand that if I give them advice, they can accept it. But then other people are like, no, I got referred to you by X somebody else. They said I need to talk to you, so that which is really
Exactly.
cool that way too. So
I know. So, dude, I'm just saying, like, can you put on another event? I'll buy a table. It was $500.
yeah,
I'll buy a table. Let me speak. Like that was the best $500 plus flight, hotel. It doesn't matter what I spent.
right.
That was the best investment I've
Well,
made.
I think it goes back into your event with Light It Up Expo is because it is an investment. You know, I think we all want to kind of get better. And sometimes we get into these ruts in as business owners that when we get in these ruts, it really comes down to how do you get out of a rut? And sometimes you got to go into these kind of events like we're having here in about 30 days or so. And you have to like shed the wall and you got to be very open and very accepting of the information. Write notes down. Don't think that you're going to sit there and retain it by your ear. You have to be engaged and have conversations, and then you can go back and go, okay, what of that information can I apply to my business now, and what can I apply to later as I build these steps? So, you know, those are things where I feel like when you know you and I in this industry, we're talking about how to make lighting better and how to make people's lives better on doing, you know, from design to making a better profitable business. So those are things that I kind of think about when folks come to your a show like this, because it's not just a here's my product show. It's more of we're here to learn. We're here to learn as individuals, and we're here to learn as, you know, even something that you got to take back and then teach your team,
Yeah.
teach somebody else because they couldn't make it.
Well, it's interesting because we have people reaching out and we're answering these questions through our marketing, like, well, who's speaking and what are they speaking on and what vendors? And they have these like in the weeds questions
Right.
that I'm like, what? Like, again, I used to be them, so I understand why they're asking those questions, but now I would just never ask that question. It's just like I've gone from like a scarcity mindset to an abundance mindset. But the reason why they're doing that is because they're chasing certainty. Like,
Mhm.
is it going to be worth me coming down there? Because I have work to do. And like, how much is the ticket and how much is the hotel? And they're trying to like justify it. But here's the deal. And you said it, like, you have to shed this wall. You have to shed this old identity of you. Because my only thing that I tell people is like, if you like, I can't guarantee that if you come to this show that you buy a ticket, it's $649, you come down there, do the thing. I can't guarantee anything because what if you don't engage? What if you don't do these things? But here's what I can guarantee is if you take the same actions last year that you did this and you do that this year, you're going to get the same result.
Mhm.
So when you compare the upside and downside, like, yeah, it might not work, right? You literally might waste 3-4 days. The likelihood of that is to
It's
happen is
not,
like
it's yeah.
next to nothing, right? But let's just say that that's in their mind versus the potential hundreds of thousands of dollars, millions of dollars that you can make just by
Mhm.
making some of these connections. I mean, that's really what it's about. And so I want to give people like confidence. It's like the only guarantee is like you just got to change what you like. Try if you didn't come last year and you didn't take action, well, do something different. You have to start making decisions differently than you did in the past if you want to become the next version of yourself.
Yeah, and I see. I mean, even it's just us two. There's a lot of other leaders that you got that are in this industry that are doing the right thing to kind of help in other companies or individuals. And nobody, it's hard for people to ask questions. It is. it's if you're not used to going into a setting and especially like you got everybody around a booth or the area and they're not going to ask questions. So, our job as a speaker or someone that we're trying to, we have to make sure that we give that message so it's retainable in multiple levels.
Yeah.
It could be through humor, it could be through tech, specs, it could be, a cool slide, whatever. There's got to be a way to retain it, and I think that's the biggest thing that I think what I try to do is try to keep that fun going.
So Peter's on here.
I
What's up,
see Peter.
Peter?
I see Peter. Hey, buddy.
We met at that event
Yep.
in 2021.
Yeah.
And he's a little bit slower than most. It took him a couple years to like decide to do landscape lighting, but that was everybody. Like everyone
Yeah.
was like, wait, what? Landscape lighting? And but Peter's awesome. And actually he now in our like coaching program, he
Mhm.
literally runs twice a month. If anyone's not following him, like you hate money,
No,
you hate
he
success
is
because
phenomenal.
he's so good at
I
marketing.
saw I saw it from when I first met him, just the potential what he was already doing, and then how he already had the marketing head. He
I
didn't have to
know.
think. He already had that knowledge and what he did, and he was automatically just you knew he was just going to grow, and that was all. And it's been fun, watching him grow. And anytime I'm down in the Naples area, I always stop in and say hi. I'm a big fan.
He makes me want to buy. What is that board that he rides on, Peter? Because he's got like cool videos because
Oh,
he gets on
yeah, that one little one wheel one.
the
Yeah,
one wheel. Yeah,
I will definitely fall on my face.
I don't like have need for that, but I'm like, I think I'm just gonna get a one wheels because his videos look cooler than mine.
Well, he looks like he should be from California, not Florida. So the way he's going around and filming the same time while he's on that, yeah, that's two things at once. That's like walking and chewing gum. So I don't know.
I wonder if he's chewing gum as well. I mean, can he
He
do all
probably
three?
he's
I
got the
don't know.
skill set. I think he's got it.
Well, dude, okay, so you're coming down to speak. Have we finalized? Do we know what your topic is yet for the expo?
Well, I did something, and there's just like you, I always have a lot of different topics, right? And for what I'm going to be talking about is a little bit about my journey of, being a business owner and understanding what it took to really slap me in the face and learn my numbers and really, that part of our business and then how it was almost done and then how we figured that out and then I'll have an applicational wise to show everybody that they can go back and check a couple things on their own with their business, and so then they have some action items when they leave listening to me talk.
Awesome. No, that's sweet. I mean, obviously there's going to be an element like when I speak, I like to be optimistic. So I do like to hype people up. I like to get good
Mhm.
energy. I feel like it's much easier to learn when you're in a learning state. But we're not just there to motivate people and like, hey, feel better about yourself. Like we do want those takeaways. And so that's what I love is like all of our speakers are going to have like, okay, this is like one or two takeaways that you can take from this thing and actually apply to your business and get a real return on your investment instead of being like, hey, yeah, I went to that event and I felt really good for 2 days. And then I'm like, what did I learn? What did I take away?
Yeah, and a lot of it really, like for me, it's I go through this all my trainings now. I added multiple slides into how I coach, for people I go through, and I've had more people come back to me later and goes, Mike, I had no idea you were going to get this in depth about the business because they think in their minds it's just Christmas lights. It's like no, this is a business in its own that it's, in my eyes, I'm in it 12 months a year, but other people say, oh, I'm only going to be in it for 3. I'm like, well, okay. I mean, I had an individual that I coached what started in November 11th, and he still routed off 20 some jobs in less than 30 days. And
Nice.
and he did the right pricing. And so those are little small successes. And I was like, I got the time, I'll talk to you. I'm never gonna try to push people away if they want the help. So
What's your opinion on a lot of people when permanent lighting came out was like, oh crap, I can't bring that up because then I'm sabotaging my business. I literally need
yeah.
these people to pay me year over. What's going to happen with the Christmas light industry? Or is there just a lot of people that don't even know about, like, that they can install Christmas lights
Well, I
in
mean,
their
the permanent
downtown.
lighting does have its target audience, so if you want to call it that, or it has its bling to it. I don't think that it's hit its plateau ceiling or anything, but knowing where Holiday is and the traditional Christmas C9 bulb roof lines and mini lights and all that stuff, it's never going to replace either or, right? I think the permanent lighting, I still, in my eyes, I think it still has a lot more years of technology to see if it gets more, robust and what it can do for this industry. But not everybody can afford it four times what you do, what like if you go charge X for C9s and just a roof line and stuff. A lot of times, as a business owner, you should be like, I need to get four times that, or I'm hurting myself in business,
Yeah,
because the reoccurring business of stacking it every year and building in and going, look, I'm walking in the fourth quarter and I know I have $2 million of gross sales coming in to work, rather than if you keep on, if you kind of go backwards, like, am I taking a 500,000 out just because I'm replacing it with permanent lighting? Well, then that margin's got to be right the rest of the year, because if you're
yeah,
doing everything in the fourth quarter, which a lot of our industry is set up in lighting that way due to the daylight savings, everybody's dark, it's so intense that fourth quarter. If you're not spreading that out in that January, February, March, April's, before you get into landscape lighting or whatever they other services they provide, you're doing yourself. You got to look at which one's going to make me more money and which one's going to be longevity in my business.
yeah,
So, and I think with permanent lighting, I like it. I like it more on commercial properties. I like it more on, I think there's a niche out there for some, I've seen a lot of jobs done on houses that have done look awesome. And I've seen some jobs done on houses that, like, why'd they do that? And that's usually your do-it-yourselfers that go and get something
yeah.
from Amazon. They don't hire a professional and they're stringing it the wrong way. The bulb's going up, the out, whatever. And I'm like, that's not the method. So
So what are some of your, like, top clients doing? Are they doing like more volume simple jobs, or are they doing like more designery, like wreaths, garland, wrapping trees, like doing maybe
yeah.
less volume, larger projects?
No, I mean, I think there's a little bit, Ryan. I think there's a mixture there, because it comes down to the appetite of the owner. But I would say the more successful ones that I do work with are growing a lot more into the foliage and adding the wreaths and garlands, or adding the add-on sales year over year with their clients. So then their average ticket keeps on growing.
Yeah,
That's where I see the more success. It's amazing when I start seeing clients that have been predominantly working on the outside of the exterior for lighting, and now they're jumping into commercial and residential Christmas trees and jumping into that game. And there's a lot of things that I see in that potential, especially in those southern states. Hey,
yeah,
Laura,
yeah. What's up, Laura?
she's good stuff. She's good stuff.
So, I think, yeah, it makes sense that I think the more successful clients are doing the more custom things. And I know if you're new and you don't have a team and you're not ready to scale, that can be kind of
Mhm.
scary, because you're like, I can just go put a 150-foot roof line together and do like 4 of those, 10 of those a day, whatever the number is. But the the hard part about that is it is hard to scale, because if you have just like 150-foot roof lines, like, you're just a commodity at that point. Like,
Yeah,
what makes you different? Like, a guy's gonna knock on the door and be like, "Oh, I can do that for $2 a foot," or whatever, and, like,
mhm.
how are you gonna compete with that? Whereas they're like, "Hey, is it okay if I actually, like, throw out some ideas?" And you guys could say no, of course, but would it be okay if I designed on the potential of this property? Like, really what's possible, instead of just, like, trying to fit it into, like, a small price? Well, I don't know, it really depends. Well, let me throw out some ideas, and again, you guys tell me what makes sense. That you can differentiate yourself. And you're like, "We're
Well,
gonna do a 36 here and a 48 here, and we're gonna wrap these columns." Like, whoa, like, that feels like Christmas. That doesn't just look like lights on a house.
and you hit it right there earlier when you said design, because I think the biggest part about this industry, especially when you go holiday, is that anybody, and I hate to say the way, but Bubba in a truck can get a ladder and I can put anything up. Well, I'll take it as a good somebody that knows the product that's out there that they can use and become a better professional designer will win all the time
Yeah.
because the clients are spending good money for us to come on their homes and their businesses to do this work. So they need to be treated with that VIP white glove designer concept, like you're doing a full out kitchen remodel, because it'll take you a while to pick the right company, right?
Yep.
You know, and and that, I think that's part of when you start talking about as a person in sales, you have to bring that out saying, this we're doing more here. We're going to show you more, and the expectations are going to be more from my side to you, and what we'll meet you where and we'll exceed what you want.
That was a lesson that probably took me way too long to learn. I didn't know when I was in that mindset. One, I didn't have any money, and so most people are like that. Like unless we have like most people I talk to don't have like rich uncles that are like, hey, here's $1 million. You should start
Yeah.
a lighting business, right? So we're all like broke, and it's like, dude, I
Hmm.
got to get this next job, otherwise I got to like wash diapers out of my sink, and I got to feed my kids ramen
Hmm.
again, and my wife's going to divorce me. Like I get that, right? And I was there, but I didn't know this, and you just hit on it. Is like when you get a price objection, like everyone that's a rookie, and this is like 99% of the people out there, they're like, well, I got to lower the price. And it's like, huh, you know what I learned? Is all you got to do is raise the value,
Yeah.
sell them something more. Like seriously, it's crazy. This blew my mind when I tried this the first time and it worked. I was like, what? It worked. I can't believe this. Like they're like, well, $1,000. Like it seems like a lot. This other guy will do it for 600. I'm like, what if we did this for 2,500? What if we did this for 6,500?
Hmm.
Like it will blow your mind the first time you do this, where you're like, wait a minute, like I actually charged them more and they went with me because I'm more. Like that doesn't even make sense. But you're not just charging more for the same thing, you're charging more for more value. And so that's what people want. They want more value. When it's such low value, and it's like, I don't know, I just kind of want some lights on my house. What the shit? Yeah, they're going to try to find something that's $200 because it's not valuable to them. But if you can show them how they're going to win the neighborhood competition and all their neighbors are going to be envious and their kids are going to remember this forever, and you're creating an experience, not just putting lights on a house, that's worth $3,500. That's worth 6,500. Heck yeah, dude. Like we
Yeah,
got that.
and it's amazing when I hear success stories from everybody I talk to across the country, and even my own success stories. I still have to be, I didn't come up with a lot of money, and you had to work hard and made mistakes like that I did. You go, people are really spending that, and I'm
I know.
part of this, and I'm out there putting this up because of this, and which is it's actually given me 30 years in this industry, starting, making mistakes in the 90s to getting it better in the 2000s. So, but I think where the industry is growing and anybody can jump in, and there's a lot of other home service industries that are out there that are growing, but I still feel like holiday and the lighting itself, the permanent lighting, the landscape lighting, it's something that people can gravitate to and learn quick.
Yeah. Yeah. Lately I've been on this kick of like when I first started teaching and educating in this, I really focused hard on like, hey, what do you guys talk about? People don't, it's not just a want, like people need lights, like they're gonna
Mhm.
die if they don't get it, right? But lately I've kind of shifted that and I'm like leaning into like the fact that, you know what, it's badass that people want it.
Mhm.
And here's what I mean by that. Like if someone's going on vacation, like, do you think someone wants to go on a vacation to Hawaii that's like maybe it's $10,000, but they're like freaking on the beach and they get to do cool stuff? Or do you think they want to spend like 1,700, but they gotta like go to like downtown Detroit or New York?
Yeah,
Sorry if you
stay
guys are
in
in
a
those cities,
Motel
I still love you.
6.
But like, yeah, like a motel and they gotta like go around the back or whatever. Like, which they're
Yeah,
both vacations,
yeah.
right? They're both they're taking a break from work. Like they're both going on
Mhm.
vacation. Like, well, of course they want to go to Hawaii, and it costs more money. They will find a way,
Yeah.
and that's what it is with outdoor lighting. Like, let's give people what they want. In fact, let's give them more than what they even knew was possible. So maybe my example is bad, and like, okay, they're not going to go to this motel, but maybe they were planning a trip that was like $4,500, and it was going to be okay, but you have to walk a couple miles to the beach, and like it's just not quite as nice. It's like a 2-star, 3-star. And you showed them how actually for just a little bit more, and again, this is a one-time experience that they can change their family dynamic and everything else. A little bit more, they get actually like on the beach, which means this, this, and this. And so the same thing with lighting. Like once people understand this, it unlocks this new level, and success is out there waiting for you.
Yeah.
But you have to you have to believe in it. If you
You
think
have to
I'm full
believe
of
in
crap,
yourself.
then yeah, if you believe I'm full of crap, then I'm full of crap. Like
Yeah.
that is your version of reality. But once you believe this and adopt it, man, people want this. They don't have to go on a vacation to Hawaii, but they want to. They don't have to spend that kind of, but they want to because of the way it makes them feel. It gives them a detachment from their regular life, and they get to enjoy life. That's what outdoor lighting is. They do it because they want to. They don't have to. They do have to buy a roof. They do have to buy air conditioning.
Yeah.
Who wants to spend $25,000 on a new air conditioning? Like that sounds like a ripoff. But people do want to spend these things because the way it makes them feel. So we're so blessed to be
Yeah.
able to offer this outdoor lighting to these people, to give them the holiday lightings for a couple months. That's
Yeah.
going to lock in these core memories for their kids. Like it's freaking
Well,
awesome.
and I think it's our job. I just said something the other day on my group about customer service, and I had a couple incidents where just very negative from some big corporate companies, and I was like, and it made me think like we still have to think about like our clients and understand like, yeah, I would just went to Hawaii, right? But or whatever trip that you might go on to. Usually when I get back from a big trip like that, I need another vacation just to recover from everything I did. And I never have that. And I got a stack full of work to do. But when you think about customer service, they have to come back going, I want to go again. When do I rebook? You know, and that's the fun part about the business is like you go create a lighting and then you're like, they have that vision that you've discussed with them and created this whole program. Could be a huge landscape lighting for the backyard. And they're like, when do we do in the front yard or when we do the side yard or a different house, or I need to tell somebody else how to do this or whatever. Or even holiday, it gets mixed into, hey, we got to do 4th of July. Hey, we got to do Halloween, let's have some fun. So
Dude,
I think that's the beauty of it, the vision.
this is why you are the man for the job coming up at Light It Up Expo,
So
because that right there has that lack of customer service and not just customer service, but customer journey
yeah,
is why most businesses fail, because it costs a lot of money and time to generate a high quality lead that you're going to close the deal, and you got the sales process and all that. And most people are like, oh man, this feels so good. I just got a client. Like, oh, this is sweet. But like, that's not where business is won. Business is won by giving that customer experience,
yeah,
controlling the client journey, and all of a sudden, oh my gosh, they were a holiday lighting client. You just upsold them landscape lighting.
yeah.
Oh, that was just their front yard. 6 months later, you get their backyard. Oh, did you get a referral to one of their friends or family or neighbors? Oh, did you ask them who their interior designer is? And all of a sudden, bip, 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 bip,
Yep.
spider webs open up, and you have freaking a badass funnel instead of a client. And that's where business is won. We teach all that stuff, right? But most people don't do that. 99%, 99.9% of businesses are just worried about getting the client, and that's where their client journey ends.
Yeah, and you are correct because I think as you start thinking about leads coming in, you hear that a lot in our industry. How many leads are coming in, and how can we convert them into close ratios and sales funnels, and get all that follow up stuff. We do have to understand these are people that we're working with, and yeah, they might be given a quote from multiple companies, but how do you stand out? And that's passion. That's showing, like you said, you have to know this industry. And if you don't know it, this is why you come to a Light Up Expo to learn more so you can be more prepared for those next sales calls or that interaction with the client. So then you can go, this is why we're doing this. And then I don't know, I've always been upfront with clients all the time. And I've been blessed to have that fun journey with them because I love doing what I did. I mean, I don't really do all the lighting anymore, but I do love what I do now, especially when I'm coaching and helping companies, see what I've been through and created. And that's the fun part. So
Dude, I'm so excited. Will you commit? Will you sign autographs? Like if people take a selfie with
Yeah,
you,
no, come on,
will you give them an
Brian.
autograph?
No, I'm just flattered that people know my name. I'm just happy about that. So that's all. I just do my thing.
Well, you're a humble dude, and something that I've only known you. I guess it's been 5 years now, so I don't know what you did before that, but you've shown up clearly because people talk about, oh, he helped me then and helped me this time, and like that's just something that I've learned from you is consistency, and you're always there, you're always present, you're always willing to help. And there's people that are like flash in the pan, oh hey, what's up guys, and you
Mhm.
can tell what their real motive is, and that's just not you. And so it's cool. You're laying out the blueprint without even probably trying to lay out the blueprint on how to be successful. Is just keep showing up.
Yeah. I know. I wish as I get older, I start to kind of wonder how many more years that I will be relevant in this industry. And I feel like, because, you start getting to that age, you're like trying to help a 20-year-old, and I've helped plenty of them. And at least I can kind of, I don't have any slang to kind of say that I'm good at it, but it's like I can at least relate, because I understand what it was to be 20 and 30 and trying to find my way in life, in general.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? There's a lot of wisdom that you've got there, and at some point maybe there is a little disconnect. We'll teach you whatever the slang is to make sure
Yeah,
that you
yeah.
stay
I
fresh.
need an
But
interpreter.
yeah, we might not even understand these kids in a few years. Even my kids, I'm like, I don't even know, are they speaking English? I don't know. But
Agreed.
the thing is, there's always those people that they're always. I mean, there's the haters. There's the people like, oh well, Mike, if you're so good at it, why don't you go run your business and blah blah blah. You should be in a
Mhm.
tree. It's like, okay, well, that's fine. But then there's always the people that either read a book or hear about it and they're like, okay, they learn early. Like there's kids now that are like 19, 20 years old. I'm like, damn, dude, these kids they're brilliant.
No,
They get it,
I
and
know a
they're
couple that
saying
I've
like,
been working with, and I'm like,
yeah,
man, I wish I had that knowledge when I was 19 and
same,
20. That
same.
and they're taking it and they're embracing it, and they're not afraid to learn, and they're not trying to say this is the way it is, and this I've done this for years type, BS. They're like, all right, I'm gonna try that out, Mike. You got it, and then they go do it, and I'm like, you are right, or whatever. Maybe I was wrong, but still, I think that's the beauty of some of these young entrepreneurs in the world. They're trying to get their businesses and build an empire, and they're probably building an empire, don't even know they're building it. And that's the part of, because everybody wants to get in business, like, all right, I'm gonna build this business, and you see it online all the time. Like, I sold my business for X, or I did this for X, whatever. Uh, You should want to be, why do you get up in the morning? Is if that's your motivation, then that means there's an end game. But if you
Yeah.
if you love your business and you love being in it, there's never an end game. You just continue to go and do your thing, and the money will be there, your lifestyle will be there. It'll just all come together.
Yeah, I learned this years ago and I started sharing it a few years ago that like build your business like you're going to sell it
Hmm.
and then don't sell it
Yeah.
because that's a like that's a heck of a business right there. That's called mailbox money, and you're literally only doing the things in your business that
That you
light
want
you
to
up.
do. Yeah. Yeah. That
Yeah.
gets you excited. Yeah, that's very true, because if you think about it, if you're building your business to sell it, that means you got your operations is dialed in, your sales funnels are dialed in, your marketing is dialed in. So then when you get to that point, then you look back going, why do I want to sell it?
Exactly.
Because then all you do is, if you're going to sell it and go reinvest and do something else, it could be a whole different industry. You're going to have to learn from, start all over again.
Start all over. Yeah. I got a whole nother story on that one. I don't have time today because that's actually what happened to me. I mean, I sold my lighting business and people
Mhm.
were like, why'd you sell your lighting business? I'm like, well, we're gonna need more time.
Yeah.
So because that's what I
That's a
did. And then all of a sudden I'm in this still outdoor lighting industry, but I'm telling you, growing a community for
Mhm.
landscape lighting professionals is completely different than growing an outdoor lighting business serving homeowners. So it really was like back to the basics, like learning how to walk again. And you know, the marketing, the sales, like all this knowledge, like a lot of that translates, but the building blocks and how when the order and how you speak and all these things
Right.
are just completely different. So yeah, it's not what you might think it is, like you said, to sell your business. Cause like,
Mhm.
unless you got a plan, like, no, cause once I do, then I'm going to buy, you know, this 200-story commercial building and blah, blah, blah. Like probably
Yeah,
should just
and
keep
there,
it.
there's a lot smarter people out in the world than I am that have that plan, you know.
Yeah.
I figured I like where I'm at, because you know, when you get good at it, you know, it's kind of like retiring from baseball if you're or basketball, whatever, football. I mean, if look Tom Brady, look for example, because the Super Bowl's coming up. It's like, do you think that he could have retired 10 years earlier, but he loved what he did.
Yeah, exactly.
And he
And
loved being around the team and all that stuff.
he had a good offensive line, you
Yeah, he
know.
wasn't on his butt too much, you're right.
If he would have had a weak offensive line, that dude would have retired years ago.
Yeah, yeah, he wasn't really a beefy guy to kinda take that hit, so,
Yeah.
um,
He was just like, "Doo, doo, doo. I don't know. I think I might throw the ball in a few seconds."
yeah. But, I mean, I think that's the fun part about being in the industries. It could be anything. It's like if you find a niche and you're good at that niche, and I think Christmas lighting is a niche or light outdoor lighting in general is a niche because not many people understand it. They think they wanna jump in, and they see the YouTubes out there, oh, how easy it is, and, you know, it's not easy. You gotta go through a lot of details and a lot of scrapes to get to where you wanna get at and to to find that ultra success.
All right. So if people want to get a hold of you, they want to get a hold of Wintergreen, they
Yeah.
want to start their Christmas light season early, and it sounds crazy, but like a lot of the stuff is
Yep.
now.
No,
It's not
it's
waiting
now.
until November.
Yeah.
How do they get a hold of you? What's the best way to
Well,
reach
I
out?
mean, obviously, you can go to wintergreencorp.com. I have a full sales team there. There's a sales map of if whatever states are out there. One of the things that we have going on right now is just like all the other suppliers, we have our pre-buy program. One of the things that we do is, you know, 10% down, which is a good thing. And what we did this year is that if you purchased from us last year, you have a percentage of rewards that you can use for your early buy. No other company's doing that. And I want to emphasize that no other company's doing a rewards program in our holiday lighting market. And Wintergreen's got something.
Nice.
So go to the site. If you want to look more into that, there's a resource page at the bottom. And yeah, we're just trying to do the right thing for our clients. Um, at your show, we'll be showing some kind of revolutionary products that we've been working on for a couple years now, that are gonna be
Oh,
new.
really?
Yep, yep, there'll be something that might be some game-changing, things that'll be for the future, and
And you guys are unveiling that at Light It Up Expo this year.
yeah, yeah,
Dude,
we'll have
that's
some of that out there to kinda show and get everybody's opinions, and it's, just we know that change is hard, but some of this is gonna be a cool thing that I can see a lot of longevity for.
okay, dude. That's awesome. I didn't even know that. I know we have like that's amazing. So come to for like the launch of whatever you're talking about. And then
Yeah.
the pre-buy thing. I think some people hear pre-buy and they're like, well, I don't have the money right now.
Yeah,
So
and
talk
that's
about
why it's
how
only
that works.
10%. Like the big thing about inventory on pre-buys is I look at it two different ways. A, you should always have somewhat of inventory in your pocket, to do a holiday for sure. And B, it's like it's a motivator to go out and pre-sell, you know.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
as Wintergreen, compared to other suppliers, we're only asking for 10% down. If you do a $5,000 order, I'm only asking for $500 down to secure that. You'll pay the rest when it gets shipped in September. You
That's
know, so
incredible. So yeah, you're giving them runway to be like, all right, I'm gonna go do some pre-sales, get some deposits, get all
right,
that. Obviously, they can cover the 10%,
yeah,
but they could probably cover that all before September even hits too.
correct, yeah, and then so we don't ask for any other payments until the final before it leaves,
Dude, that's freaking
and then if
dope.
anything over 2,500 is free shipping. So then there's another big discount on top of that because nobody likes paying shipping, even
I know.
versus
I seriously hate. I'm like, if it's not on Amazon, I ain't buying it. Can you guys sell on Amazon so I can buy some product?
Yeah, but then you're paying a higher price of product, so you just don't know it.
No, that's phenomenal. So free shipping over 2,500,
Yeah,
10% down on the pre-buy is dope. Plus, you said
yeah.
incentives.
Yeah, so we got discounts off our wholesale, and then plus there's you're looking up to 5% to 10% rebate dollars of anything that they bought from us last year. There's a certain percentage that you'll get to use for your
Okay, dude,
pre-buy.
sweet. Dude,
Yeah,
that's
so
awesome. So did I put it right? Wintergreencorp.com.
yep. So that's our wholesale side. We continue to always start with putting new products out there as they come readily available, and we might be one of the companies because we do. One of the say I'll say about Wintergreen is we are stacked in inventory. We got 4 major warehouses across the country, can hit everybody in 2 days. But yeah, we our goal is not to run out, ever
Love
run
it.
out of product. You want plugs? Got them. Cord? Got them. Bulbs? Got them. I got them now. I don't have to wait for containers to come in. I got them.
Yeah. Dude, this is awesome. Seriously, I cannot wait. We're about a month out now,
Yeah,
and stoked to have you on the stage talking, stoked to have you guys there as a vendor.
yeah,
The sponsorship it's all just so awesome because I don't think people realize like how expensive these events are to put on.
they are.
And if we don't have your support, then I'm like, oh, hey, by the way, you can come to Light It Up Expo and a ticket's only $2,500. And it's just like, it's hard. Like we would literally have to charge that. But because of your support, tickets are only $649.
Yeah.
Like we're feeding you lunch 2 days. The amount of value, it literally is going to cost you a lot more to not come to this event than it would be to come. So, but that's only because we have your guys' support. So I just want to give credit to where credit's due. Like if it wasn't for you guys supporting the event, I mean, it just wouldn't be as awesome. So I'm glad
Well,
to
I
have you guys there.
appreciate that, and we're happy to be part of it. We see the vision, and we'll be there. So I'm looking forward to having some fun, and I don't know, let's just light up the world. Let's go.
Light it up, baby. Light it up. I can promise people this will be if they went last year, they kind of already have a preview, but this is not a boring business conference.
No,
we are
no,
gonna
no.
we're gonna have fun. We're gonna learn. Okay, it's called edutainment. There's gonna be education. There's gonna be entertainment. It's gonna be a blast. You're gonna have literally all of the potential people to help you grow your business all in one room. We've got obviously Mike Marlowe speaking. We've got amazing other
Yeah.
speakers. We have some breakouts. We have expert roundtables, which is like this is brand new this year. Where speaking is great. Like you can take notes, whatever. But then like, where do you get the access to be like, yeah, but Mike, when you said that earlier, how does that apply to me right now in my business and get that like actual feedback? So we have like those expert roundtables to get you access to all of our speakers instead of just be like, hey, I saw him on stage. Dude, we've got literally like it's all choreographed to make sure that if someone doesn't like get value here, they're going to get value here. If they don't like this vendor, they'll like this vendor. Like everything is set up for success. So I'm excited for it. And we're only 30 days out, guys. Just so you know, this is not a thing to scare you, whatever, but it kind of is. It will sell out. The room is only so big. And so we're about, I looked this morning, we're like 75% sold out on tickets.
Ooh, that's
So
outstanding.
don't wait. Like, I don't care if we're best friends. If like I can't invent a new chair, I can't make the walls bigger. It's
You just go up on stage
restricted.
with me. I'm fine. They can stand by me.
Okay. Mike is a better human being than me. Literally, just get your tickets now because this happens every year. Every time I do an event, hey, sorry, I know I meant to get it earlier, but I had to check with my wife and blah, 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 blah.
Right.
And I'm like, yeah, but it's sold out. So you could just talk to your wife now. You know what I mean? So giving you guys a heads up, I don't want to be the bad guy in the end.
Well, they need to
This
plan
is
their
your
trip
chance.
anyway, so they need to be doing this in the next couple of weeks anyway, for sure. So get out there, get signed up. Love to see everybody there. I know this can be a rock star event because last year's was already, so it's going to be better.
It's going to be awesome. We do have what do we have?
I don't know.
What was I going to say? What do we have?
Yeah.
Oh, we do have discounted hotel room block. So once you get your ticket, we'll send you a link. It's at the
The
what's it,
DoubleTree.
DoubleTree at
Hilton.
the entrance of Universal Studios, the Hilton. Yeah. So
And you can just walk right across Universal Studios. They have all those other
yeah,
bars and restaurants there. It's not that far, and everybody needs steps anyway when they're sitting around all day listening and writing all those notes.
exactly. Yeah, we did that last year, like the very last night. Like we have like our
Yeah.
VIP dinner and stuff like that, and then we all went out and went over to Universal. So
I did the mistake of
guys,
doing rides the
you
next
did.
day because I didn't. And this is my second time doing Universal, and it's I can't do rides anymore. I'm too old now. I got to that point where I will get nauseous from the Harry Potter or the Hulk or whatever. And I tried them all thinking that I'm going to be a man and I'm going to try to do it again. Nope.
That
Ruined
gives
it.
me an idea. We're gonna do a challenge. It's like if we could sell this thing out before like next week, Mike Marlowe has to go on like 4 rides in a row or something like that.
Hopefully you can video me and I won't look right. I'll look very pale and I won't be able to walk straight because my head's going to be all over the place.
Perfect. That's what the challenge is. All right, guys, go to wintergreencorp.com. Connect with Mike Marlowe, guys. I'm telling you, like, there's just very few people that show up as consistent as Mike. And he's just given so much to the holiday lighting industry. And that's why I'm extremely grateful to have him part of Light It Up Expo. It needs a lot of us to really raise the bar to build these industries. And look forward to seeing everyone in Orlando. But right now, go to wintergreencorp.com. Take advantage of that early buy, 10% down. I'm like,
yeah,
that's
just
freaking
reach
awesome.
out to us. Let us know what we can do to help. And I got the team ready to go.
Okay. Awesome, everybody. Well, have a good day. Don't forget to get your ticket. Light It Up Expo. We'll see you in about a month in Orlando.
Yeah, let's go.